have returned once again today to deliver another stream of JoJo Part 5 Golden Wind. We're good to go, we're good to go, we're good to go. So yes, actually I've returned to cover episode 10 of JoJo Part 5 Golden Wind, and as we know, episode 9 of JoJo Part 5 Golden Wind actually was the kind of pivotal episode in a way when you think about it, because now we've actually kind of got the narrative ball rolling in a way, because it's already rolling as is, but it's kind of taken more of a rolling attitude as the episode went on. It was actually really, really nicely done. The idea of now we actually kind of got a character very much pivotal to the actual boss himself is actually kind of cool. And also learning about the boss as well actually is kind of interesting as well. So yeah, really, all around the episode actually was really freaking good. It was a really good episode, actually kind of in the middle of the Nunch's arc as well. So we actually might in theory get the Nunch's actual backstory this episode as well. So it actually might be interesting to see what actually does in theory happen there. So yeah, it was actually put on to actually gone live. So, if I actually know what the hell I'm doing, that is. There we go. Now I know what the hell I'm doing. Right, let's go. So, gone live for JoJo Part 5 Golden Wind Episode 10. And with that, and with that, and with that, and with that, I'll be good to go. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We're good to go. On all fronts, we're good to go. So, anyway, let's get Shona Road. So, let's actually put Crunchyroll into full strength. Get Shona Road. So, in 3, 2, 1. Let's start this thing absolutely now. As I said last week, I actually do really like this fight, but the fight to come is one of the best fights in Part 5. Yeah, it's so freaking cool. It's so freaking cool. So yeah, one of the things I actually quite like about this fight is the fact that actually can in free play with perspective quite a bit because of the size differences. But yeah, it's actually quite interesting because the fact is you have this perspective change in the sense that the size is slowly starting to get smaller. It's actually kind of cool. But yeah, last week's episode actually was really freaking good. It's one of those episodes that actually kind of had the humour of JoJo, also kind of advancing it slightly as well. I actually quite like how they did it, because this whole entire part so far has been a nice subversion of the previous parts, but also kind of honouring them in a way. It's one of the cooler things about this part as a whole is the way that it kind of subverts but also advances and actually kind of pays homage to JoJo as a whole. It's so freaking cool. Because my headphones actually work before I actually continued, just in case. So I imagine we'll actually have Fugo's episode next time, actually, or possibly the time afterwards. Unless they're actually doing everyone's backstory, what's the word? Like, what's the word? I actually can't remember the word now. Sequentially? In a sequence, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's one after another, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I actually wanted to do it that way. So we'll get Nunchas, and actually get Fugos, and actually then we'll get Brunos. He's so hot. I actually quite like how they play into the whole thing with Fugo and Anantia quite a bit. It's actually quite interesting, the dynamic they actually share. You can see how much one worries for the other, whether or not actually can in theory carry out the task. It's quite interesting and dynamic. It's also quite interesting. The fact is, we get a character or an enemy in this case that actually doesn't really kind of actively attack the actual stand user in a way. It's actually kind of like it's the world going down with around them in a way. It's an attack, but it's a different kind of attack. Actually, that's actually why I quite like this episode. It's actually a really freaking cool shot as well. It's a different kind of attack. That's actually why I quite like it. I really do like Aerosmith's actual design as well. The design and how they're actually using CG is actually really freaking cool. Because it isn't used to the same effect that you see everywhere else. It's used a different effect, and it really adds a lot more to it as well. His OST is really freaking good. The OST is amazing. I quite like how they're actually emulating what a fight would be between someone and a plane. It's actually quite well done so far. The use of the music, the use of the camera angles, the use of everything practically so far has been really freaking cool. It's kind of cool because it's things that happen in this episode kind of seem completely trivial to a person that's actually of normal size because they're so small. It kind of makes the whole entire experience a lot more tense in a way. We actually get the Pesci fight next as well, I believe, if I remember correctly. Which is actually one of my favourite fights in JoJo. This fight, I believe the fight's actually next, I might be wrong. It'll be the fight afterwards, actually. Either way, the fight's amazing. Christ. Christ. I actually keep on forgetting how much of a full-blown body horror this manga actually is. Because part 5 is a full-blown body horror. It's like Cronenberg level body horror. Giacchio's fight's actually really freaking cool as well, to be honest. This is actually really well done so far. Kind of realized something. This part is really disturbing. This part is really disturbing. Like, really, really disturbing. I also like how they're actually characterizing the boss without him actually even being there. I always thought it was actually one of the best parts about part 5 is how to actually go around characterizing the boss, because you get just from the acts he does without him even being there that he's disturbing. He's a person you don't cross. You don't really want to get in the wrong side of him. It's really freaking interesting. Interesting. It's actually 3 weeks of Nanunchia's story, which is mildly interesting to be honest, because I thought they actually probably dedicated to like 1 or 2 weeks. But no, 3 weeks. That's actually quite interesting. Again, it's actually one of my favourite fights in part 5 as well, so it's actually not so bad. I actually quite like this fight a lot. It's pretty freaking cool. But yeah, I mean, the episode actually was really freaking good, I must say. The episode actually was really nice. I like how they actually kind of went about spending some time with the actual assassination team as well. Like, it's actually kind of cool because they're characters who are kind of enemies in a way, so you kind of see them as disposable in a way, so they're not kind of needed to be characterized. But the fact is, they went about just kind of showing their little quirks here and there, not to the point that you kind of know everything about them, but just kind of know little bits and bobs about them. It was actually really freaking welcome, I must say. It's actually kind of a nice thing to do, just actually kind of characterize them, so you just get to know a little bit about them to actually kind of go forward with. So when they actually fight, you actually know what to expect. In a way, it's actually kind of cool. I can actually believe we're actually 10 weeks through part 5 already. It feels so surreal the more I think about it just now. I was like, oh yeah, we're 10 weeks through now. So I imagine the first call will end on Fugo's backstory, I imagine then. If it were to be the case. That's actually quite interesting. Unless they actually go a different route, I'm not too sure. I'm trying to remember what actually comes after this point. I swear it's Fugo's arc after this, and it's actually the start of the pivotal movement of the narrative. But yeah, I mean, it was a really freaking cool episode because this episode actually kind of deals with the whole entire idea of characters in a way shrinking. So it kind of allows you to actually kind of look at it from a different perspective in a way. To actually kind of see there's actually more than just your average kind of what's the word like roadblock in a way. It's not just the fact you have to rely on everyday normal things when you're normal size. When you're actually shrunk down to that big, you have to actually kind of fear every single little detail in the world, because every single little detail in the world actually can kill you. In the way of rats, you have spiders, you have the sewage, you have stuff like that. It's actually quite nice to explore in this episode how you actually can utilize certain things to advantage, and there's actually also certain things to disadvantage as well. It's actually a really nicely done episode just for that one reason. It's actually one of the reasons why I love this fight so much, is the fact that you actually kind of see a different side of what it's actually kind of like to fight a character in a way. It's actually kind of cool. It kind of reminds me a lot of the Incredible Shrinking Man, a film from way back when. It's actually kind of similar. Guy shrinks, and the whole entire world basically becomes like a kind of a hellscape in a way. And the same thing can kind of go here as well. Like the idea that, like, when Formaggio was actually underground, you actually got to see like the rats and the spiders on surface level. Those things would be kind of just insignificant, kind of things you wouldn't really kind of care about. But when you're that big, it's actually kind of terrifying, because they actually can in theory kill you if you're not careful. So I love this art for that one reason. It's the fact is you actually get to see a different perspective on what it's actually like to fight someone. It's actually kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, the coolest thing about this episode actually was the assassination team. It actually was really freaking cool and really well done, actually. The idea of how they actually kind of went about showing them off in a way, because, again, they're characters you didn't really expect to actually kind of have time to shine, but they actually kind of showed you a little bit of how they work, and in doing so, you actually kind of get to learn a lot about them and how they actually kind of work in a way, and how that actually you kind of have to possibly fear them in a way. It's actually a really nicely done thing to actually kind of explore the characters at this very one point, actually kind of then go, when they come into the forefront of the narrative, actually kind of go, okay, I remember that character, and I actually know how he works in a way and how he actually kind of acts. It's a very cool thing. But yeah, I mean, this part is disturbing. This part is kind of the more disturbing part of JoJo, really, because it's actually kind of the boss isn't there, but he's kind of omnipresent in a way. He's kind of always there. If you kind of want to know who he is, he kills you basically in the most kind of graphic way possible. I mean, even the narrator says, like, look, this is an extreme way to die. It's actually it is an extreme way to die, and it actually kind of tells you at that very one point what kind of power the actual boss possesses, and it actually kind of then in theory tells you the danger the characters are in, actually kind of going through what they're trying to do. It's actually kind of a neat way to actually kind of show you the actual kind of danger the characters in without the actual boss being there. It's a really nice way to actually kind of characterize and actually kind of look at it from a different perspective. Again, like with the whole thing with the world itself shrinking. So for that way, it's actually kind of interesting, because you get to see that, yeah, he's a person you do not want to piss off or actually delve too deep into, because he will freaking kill you. And also, it's one of those things, as I said during the stream, this part is very heavily kind of Cronenberg influenced as well, because it's heavily body horror to the point that it's some fights of, like, Jesus Christ, half the time. Like, when you will see one fight, you'll believe me that this part is very Cronenberg, because god damn it, it is disturbing, some of the parts of it. Like, Jesus Christ, it just gets a bit too much. Like, it's too much sometimes. Like, I always kind of saw Rocky as kind of like the manga version of Cronenberg in a way, because it's just kind of very similar in how they work and how they actually kind of show body horror. That's why I always kind of appreciate the body horror in JoJo, because it's very much like, say, a Cronenberg movie from like the 90s and 80s, and also subsequently the 70s as well. So it's actually kind of interesting for that one reason. It's actually one of those things that I believe part 5 is the most kind of body horror-esque part besides part 7. I don't remember part 6 actually had that much body horror in it. I mean, it had some, don't get me wrong, but I'm trying to remember it actually had a lot. I mean, this part is just, it's a bit, half the time. That's what it's kind of like. You'd be like, no, most of the time. But yeah, I mean, overall, a really freaking good episode. I liked it a lot. Like, it's one of those things, I just love it. I love this episode just for the sole reason that she showed you the power of the actual boss, or not actually being there, and also then the actual kind of what itself just having to live with being this small, actually kind of fighting also. So in that way, this actually was very freaking good. So yeah, that is me done for today. So as always, if you have enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole, then do leave a follow on Twitch, because indeed that's actually helped me quite a bit. You actually have enjoyed it here on YouTube, and you do want to leave a like, then do leave a like, because indeed it actually does help me quite a bit. And you actually have enjoyed it here on YouTube, and you do want to stay a bit longer, then do leave a sub, because indeed this helped me quite a bit. And if you want to stay a little bit longer after that point, then do actually follow me on Twitter, because indeed it actually does help me quite a bit. Actually, know new streams go live, and the other streams I do as well. And also, if Twitter's not your thing, I do even for our Discord server as well. Discord server actually tell you the exact same things that are actually on Twitter as well. But until next time, episode 11 of JoJo Part 5, Golden Wind, I will see you guys later, and bye for now.